Good morning. My name is Eric Torrance, and I am the CDC at the Get Real program. I have the pleasure to introduce you to Tyler Capps as far as being one of our success stories here at Get Real this past year. Tyler enrolled into the Get Real program in March of 2021, needing 7 credits to complete his high school requirements. He had previously attended West Davidson High School, where he had completed half of his junior year. Tyler came into our program very focused as far as what he wanted to do, and once he settled in as far as his surroundings, as far as being at Get Real, he took advantage of every opportunity that he had as far as working with the teachers one-on-one, getting classes done as far as with the computers, getting classes done as far as in the books. And he worked real hard. And with this, he came through and he passed and he graduated with his high school diploma as far as at the end of the semester. I am very proud of Tyler and everything that he has accomplished. As you can see in his bio, that he has done a real good job and he has been very impactful as far as since he has enrolled into the Get Real program. He is planning to attend Davidson-Davie Community College come the spring. Right now he is doing some of the transition classes as far as to get himself prepared as far as to take the curriculum classes when he gets started in the spring. Tyler has a lot to offer as far as Davidson County, and he also has a lot to offer as far as just being the person that he is. I have really enjoyed working with him and everything and seeing him really flourish since he has been here. And again, I would like to just say thank you, Tyler, for all that you have done for the Get Real program and that you have done for me. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Shalonda Roberts. She just completed her welding at GTCC, and she is truly one of the most determined, a woman with stick-to-itiveness, and when she sets her goal, she's going to do everything possible to reach it. I think you'll enjoy her story.
Hi, I'm Shalonda Roberts, and here's my success story with the YWO program through Davidson Works. Before 2018, I had no intentions of going back to school after prior attempts until one day I was at work and on my way to break, and right before my eyes, I seen sparks flying. I was mesmerized. A department was welding, and instantly I knew I wanted to and could do it too. That very day, I went home and told my spouse that I think I found my future career, and that was welding. I knew I would have to pay out of pocket due to my financial aid being maxed out due to prior attempts at very expensive online universities. A year had went by and I hadn't made any progress to sign up for school because I was still trying to figure out how I was going to do so and pay all of it out of pocket while taking care of home and also trying to save to buy a home. Until one day, my spouse came home and told me that they had met Miss Nancy Holland at an organization function and that she worked with Davidson worked for a program that helped people pay to go back to school. I was so excited and I signed up immediately. I met our requirements and was accepted into the WDB program, and my journey of becoming a welder started June 2019. I look back and oversee school being an absolute breeze. It seemed to be over in no time. But before I made it to the end, I had some hurdles that came into my path. From the beginning of this new journey, I had to go in strong-minded and work twice as hard due to welding being a male-dominant field. My first 2 classes reminded me of that very quickly. I felt judged, looked over, and doubted on the very first day of class. Each of the instructors of these classes showed no interest in helping me right away. I definitely wasn't getting the same treatment as the guys, but that did not scare me away. I still went to class each day with a positive, hard working mindset. They eventually came around after I aced midterms. I guess I proved my determination that I had a purpose of being there, just like the guys. After that was behind me, my next semester started. All classes moved smoothly, all except one class, and that was TIG. I just could not get the concept down pat, and my performance showed just that. I became frustrated more and more each class. I definitely did not see myself making it successfully through that class. I felt I needed extra time. I just wanted so badly to withdraw and retake it another semester. And those feelings only became stronger after my grandmother passed away in the middle of that semester. But my instructor and my department chair of my program would not let me withdraw and encouraged me that I could do it and that I would make it to the end. And I thank them for that push because I did just that. With hard work and dedication, I ended that class passing with a B. Finally, my last semester started in the spring. I had a basic drafting class. I went into that class knowing nothing about drafting and the AutoCAD software that was used for the class. I knew right away that I needed extra help in that class. Attending class every day, still trying to learn the software, then COVID happened and shut face-to-face instruction down, and it resumed online. I was unable to download the software to my computer, and having that software was very important to be successful in that class. There was nothing I could do about it. So I ended up failing that class and having to retake it. That class is only offered in the spring, so I was pushed back from completing my program another year. I retook the class this past spring. I'm so thankful for that face-to-face instruction opened back up. I went in getting the help I needed right away. The class came easy to me and I passed with an A. Finally, I reached the finish line and completed my program. It's okay, it took longer than expected, but I finished and that's all that matters. Yes, I crossed every single hurdle that came my way. I also finished school while working a full-time job. My hours getting cut down to 30 hours for a few months due to the pandemic, while mothering 4 children and also in process of buying a home as well in the pandemic. It was a lot, but I managed. With all that being said, I'm beyond grateful for the WDB program for making it possible for me to go back to school. I also thank Miss Nancy Hollins so much for being such an amazing support system. She was always caring and very helpful whenever I needed her. I went in telling her that failing was not an option for me and that I would not let myself, my family, or her down. I had to keep my word. I thank her and the WDB program for believing in me and my goals. I'm so excited to start my journey in my new career. I would definitely recommend anyone in need of going back to school to the WDB program. The program definitely gets 5 stars from me. Thanks so much, Davidson Works, for such an amazing program.
There is a defining moment when a student recognizes that the success that they dreamed of will actually be embraced and not escape their grasp. And for Lakaya, I believe that it came long before she concluded her program at DDCC. It actually happened the moment that she realized that she was surrounded by people who would walk with her, fight for her and encourage her through the journey, and she found that, I believe, at Davidson Works as well. I will never forget the day she came in as a finish line grant candidate and came in to sign off on some WIOA enrollment paperwork. And there was a power outage in the building, and I just briefly recommended that we step outside so we could get a breath of fresh air and she could continue signing off on her paperwork. Well, while we were sitting out on the steps, she slowly began to confide in me, in as much as she didn't really know who I was, nor did I know who she was. But she expressed that she had some real concerns about her academic performance. As a young mother with the responsibility of a school-age daughter and work responsibilities, Lakaya was determined that she was going to be a good student example for her daughter. She admitted that her school experience had not necessarily adequately prepared her for the demands that collegiate level work had placed upon her. And so she regretted that she hadn't had a better foundation laid, but nonetheless, Lakaya was given a quick reminder that a race is not necessarily won by the swiftest or the strongest, but actually to the one that endures to the end, and sometimes it's just endurance. Perhaps a more accurate indicator of success can be found in determination and not solely in grades. If quitting for her was not an option, then success for her was inevitable, and it was inevitable for her. Today, Lakaya, through COVID-19, financial hardships, a heavy workload, parenting responsibilities, delays in state exams, through all of that, she persevered. And today, she's a medical assistant with a practice in Thomasville. And the funny thing is that she stated, when I spoke to her last, she said it was all so hard, but hard work and staying with it did pay off in the end. Not every road on the journey is going to be paved. Sometimes it is very rocky, but ultimately it doesn't matter if you reach your desired destination. And Lakaya reached hers, at least for now.
Hi, my name is Lakaya Hargrave, and I graduated from Davidson County Community College with a degree in applied science, and I also have a medical assistant diploma, which I have to thank Davidson Works for that. So I was actually awarded with the WIOA scholarship, which the WIOA scholarship pretty much covered my classes. Anything that I may have needed, such as I got gas cards, which I got to go back and forth to my clinical assignment, which was really helpful. They also they purchased my uniforms, stethoscope, shoes for my clinical assignment, which was one less thing that I have to worry about. Also, anything that I needed, Cheryl would make sure that she could find it, and if they didn't offer it, a program that may have had it. Very thankful for Davidson Works, because without them, I wouldn't have gotten my degree, because it was a lot of stuff that I didn't necessarily have to worry about. I have a 8-year-old daughter, and when I met Cheryl, she was 6, and I explained to Cheryl that I had went to school as soon as I had got out of college, which at the time my daughter was 1, and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and it just wasn't the right time, so I actually dropped out, and I went back, and I got into the medical assistant program, but I actually had to come out because my grades were not good enough, and I had to go back the following year, which was spring 2019, is actually when I met Cheryl, And when we met, the power actually went out that day, and we had to fill out my paperwork outside. And it actually came on when we finished. We actually sat outside and talked, and I told her a little bit about my story, about how I became pregnant at 16, and that I just want to make a better future for my daughter and provide to make sure she has stability and to make sure I had a career where I was comfortable with and which I like. And the only issues that I ever really faced was trying to figure out how to be a mom, how to work, and how to go to school at the same time, which they took a lot of that off of me because it was some stuff that I didn't have to worry about as far as gas, going to school, or having to spend the extra money to get uniforms. I could take that and I could spend that on bills, or I could take the money and buy my daughter stuff or buy myself stuff, which at the time I really didn't buy myself a lot of stuff. I always bought her stuff, but now I can do it all thanks to Davidson Works and the scholarship, because now I'm actually working in my field. Now I'm a certified medical assistant. I also want to thank Cheryl for just everything. She's just a sweet person. She still emails me. She still checks on me from time to time. She still asks if I need anything. If I need something, please feel free to reach out. She's one of the sweetest persons I've ever met. Thanks, Cheryl. And also, I would like to thank my mom, my sister, my family as a whole, my boyfriend. He's helped out a lot. And my daughter, Kylan. Love you guys.
Well, Michaela was not originally my client. She was transferred to me to serve as her case manager after Robin Weitzel, her former CDC, took another position. Well, in her exit meeting, Robin went on and on about this Michaela Yates, who is as sweet as pie and on her A game. Well, you had to know Robin to know that she felt that everyone was as sweet as they could be. But this time, she was absolutely right. She did not exaggerate. Michaela is one of the sweetest and most hardworking students that I have ever had the pleasure of working with. Immediately after I received her as a client, COVID-19 and the mandates and the restrictions hit in February of 2020. And all the face-to-face meetings and other forms of personal interaction that develop your client-customer relationship came to a screeching halt. And as we shifted into the virtual world, my heart kind of sank because I was so used to the face-to-face interaction. Unfortunately, because Michaela's work and her school schedule were so difficult and demanding, we didn't even have an opportunity to do any face-to-face meetings, even virtually. So we continued our contact via email and with phone conversations. Every conversation, despite the difficulty of the transitions and the overall national climate, she remained a breath of fresh air. I mean, she was just wonderful and very positive. Well, today, Michaela's an RN with Lexington Medical Center, and I am certain that she's offering her medical gifts and her natural gifts to console every anxious patient that ever crosses the threshold of the hospital. You were absolutely wonderful to work with, Michaela, and I hope for nothing but the best for your future.
Hey, my name is Michaela Yates, and I'm a student who worked with Davidson Works through my nursing school experience. I found out about Davidson Works through a classmate of mine, and as soon as I heard about it, I knew that this was something I wanted to look into and potentially apply for. Once I found out that I met all the qualifications, I was beyond excited because I knew that this was going to take my nursing school experience and make it possible for me to obtain everything I wanted to do. From the beginning, everyone at the center was amazing. They genuinely wanted to help me. I was never intimidated they always just were looking out for my best interest. And it was so incredible to have all these people that were on my side and they wanted me to succeed. So I started off and we got the transcripts, emails, all that mess out of the way. And once we started, they were able to pay for my books and my classes and anything else that I might need, whether this be uniforms, stethoscopes, anything that was going to help me in the program. I could not believe that there's something out there like this. You always hear about things and different things, but I was just shocked that I was able to be qualified for something like this. So that helped me tremendously through school. I was going to have to work every weekend in school, if not during the week as well. And with clinicals, exams, nursing school is a tough program. And I don't know if I would be able to get through it with all the work hours that I would have had to put in. So I'm just so beyond thankful to Davidson Works to help me out through this process. Davidson Works allowed me to be able to be a full-time student and not have to work unless I wanted to work on the weekend or unless I wanted to work on breaks. I did not have to work on the weekends, and I was able to dedicate those weekends to studying for my exams. I never made below a B in school, and in nursing school, the grading scale is a little different, so that would have equaled an A for normal college, but that was an accomplishment in itself, so I could not thank them enough. But they also help you beyond school, not just when you graduate, they ditch you. So I was able to study for my NCLEX, and they were able to pay for this, and that just took a ton of pressure off of me as well. The NCLEX is not a cheap test, so just having that stress out of the way where I could focus solely on studying for that, I ended up passing my NCLEX in 75 questions, and I'm now a registered nurse at Baptist, and I am so excited to start this career of mine, and I just want to thank Davidson Works again, and I recommend this program to anybody that I meet in college or other parts of their life. I cannot thank y'all enough.
Hi, my name is Megan Williams, and I am one of the career development consultants here at Davidson Works. I am honored to introduce a client of ours who I had the pleasure of working with, Mr. Chadwick Billings. Mr. Billings applied for the Finish Line Grant through Davidson-Davie Community College because, like so many people during this pandemic, he needed a little help financially. The Finish Line Grant was introduced to do just that, to help students nearing completion of their program with unforeseen emergencies. After receiving Mr. Billings' Finish Line Grant application, I called him to assess whether he met the Finish Line Grant policy criteria and identify how we could assist him. I was able to identify that not only did he meet the Finish Line Grant criteria, but he also met our local area policy to receive WIOA funds. Davidson Works was able to assist Mr. Billings with paying some of his rent, as well as assisting him with his remaining tuition fees and NCLEX exam. Mr. Billings graduated from the Practical Nursing Program on July 30th, 2021 from Davidson-Davie Community College and will soon take the NCLEX to obtain his license in practical nursing.
Hello, my name is Chadwick, and I'd like to take a moment to tell you how Davidson Works has helped me to achieve one of my life goals. I started my journey in nursing school in August of 2020 at the height of the current COVID-19 pandemic. At that time, vaccinations had not been introduced or approved, and I had to take leave of my client-facing healthcare job due to an underlying health issue that made me more susceptible to becoming ill. I struggled much of the first semester of nursing school due to the inherent stress of the course, as well as trying to figure out how I would study and also pay my bills. Megan, a counselor with Davidson Works, contacted me and told me about their programs to help community members reach their work goals. Needless to say, I was ecstatic to hear that Davidson County was willing to help me reach my dream goal of becoming a nurse. Through the tireless and efficient effort of my counselor, Megan Williams, I was able to avoid eviction twice from my home, and Davidson Works also partnered with my school, Davidson-Davie Community College, to ensure that I had the funding to complete my program. I am tremendously grateful for the help Davidson Works provided, as not only would I have lost my home, I would never have been able to pass my course and become the nurse graduate that I am today. Thank you, Megan Williams, for advocating for me, and thank you, Davidson Works, for helping me to become a nurse so that I can help fellow members of the community in the same way that you have helped me.
Hi, this is Chris Waugh, Business and Industry Manager for Davidson Works. Davidson Works is proud to recognize the ARC of Davidson as this year's recipient of the Incumbent Worker Training Grant. The Incumbent Worker Grant is a reimbursable grant geared toward upskilling an employer's workforce with the hope and expectation of a pay increase, retention, and the hope for upward mobility. These grants are limited to $10,000 per project with a limit of $50,000 in lifetime funding. This year's recipient, the ARC of Davidson, has been providing support to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities since 1951. Their frontline staff provides supports that a person needs to live a safe and healthy life. Receiving this grant allows the ARC to support 4 of their employees to attend training for the Direct Support Professional Certification. This training provides frontline workers with a more enhanced skill set for working with people with disabilities. Upon completion, they will attain nationally recognized status as a DSP-1 from the National Alliance for Direct Support Professionals, as well as achieving statewide medication administration certification. As people they support live longer, the need for qualified DSPs with enhanced skills is desperately needed so that people can age in place rather than moving to a higher level of care. Davidson Works is proud to support our local employers and workforce and proud to recognize the ARC of Davidson as this year's recipient.
Hi, my name is Lois Johnson, and I'm a DSP. I work for the day program for the ARC of Davidson County.
Lois, what made you interested in participating in the pilot program at Mount Eagle?
When it was introduced to me, I thought that was a great idea for me to go and learn more about what I'm supposed to do to help the individuals.
What would you say was the biggest takeaway you had from your participation in the classes?
The biggest takeaway that I had was that I learned how to respect the individuals and what I needed to do to make sure I was doing my job right and correct for them.
Would you have any suggestions or words of advice for folks who might be considering also participating in this program?
My suggestion is for anybody that's interested in the program, please apply for that program because it will teach you so much on how to respect and how to, what you need to do to take care and to the individuals so that they can trust you.
Okay, my name is Abby Galloway. I work for the ARC of Davidson County and I am a job coach, which means that I work with people who want employment or who are currently employed that need assistance on their job.
Abby, what interested you in wanting to participate in this pilot program?
I wanted to participate in the pilot program because I wanted to become a better ally for people who have disabilities and because I wanted to ensure the services I provided were person-centered.
What was your greatest takeaway from participating in the program?
I think my greatest takeaway is really structurally how I provide these services now, making sure that I take a moment as we meet each milestone to think about how I can better include this person in the service and how I can ensure that their wants and their needs are being met from a person-centered perspective.
What would you say to someone who would be interested in potentially participating in the program?
I would absolutely recommend participating in this program. It really does give you an insight that is different than how we are, maybe trained to work with people or the environment of this field. It definitely opens your eyes to the lives of people with disabilities and how we can facilitate them leading lives that they want rather than lives we think they may want.
My name is Teresa McKeon, and I'm the Executive Director with the Arc of Davidson County. The grant the Arc of Davidson County received through Davidson Works Incumbent Worker Development Program provided the opportunity for our staff to participate in an 8-week pilot direct support professional curriculum at Mount Eagle College. Abby and Lois not only received their CNA 1 certification and are now prepared to sit for the statewide medical technician test, they enhanced their knowledge through online modules targeted at supporting folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Learning sessions led by a person with lived experience with a disability provided a chance to dig even deeper into what it means to really support people in living their best life. Badges were earned through the National Alliance for Direct Support Professionals. All of this was accomplished while they continued to work 2 days weekly. As an employer, we seek innovative ways to encourage and promote opportunities for members of our team to enhance their knowledge and skill set while building a career ladder within the agency. Lois and Abby have not only grown personally and professionally, they have shared their new perspective and skills with other team members. We are grateful for our partnership with Davidson Works and look forward to the next class mid-August when we anticipate additional staff participation.
Hello, my name is Brian Hughes, Chair for the Davidson County Workforce Development Board. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you, the board members, NC Works, Davidson County Government, and the Board of Commissioners for all your support. We have experienced unprecedented times, and I'm proud of how everyone has pulled together, adapted, and persevered. It is this collective effort that is crucial to the success of the program and those that it serves. Again, thank you.